But having said that, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. We're just past 8 o'clock. I've got a decent bit here. If you guys don't mind to share this out, via Twitter or wherever you'd like. Certainly appreciate, getting some folks in. I know primarily our focus are foxes, but I tend to do the space, in an open area, unless it's something that's like really more important. Then I'll run it in our DAO, which I haven't done in a while. But just to kind of get, increased awareness in general for our project, I think it's always a good thing to kind of be more on the public side of things. And, in all honesty, unless it's like hardcore alpha, I don't really see the reason not to, especially because I like at the ends, usually kind of get into like more of a chill vibe type session. So I always appreciate that. But having said that, I will also speak out to our YouTube folks. I do record these and post them up on YouTube. I'm not the most timely at getting them posted. I just posted the last two prior to us starting this one up. So if anyone didn't have a chance to check out our 12th or the 19th VCs that we've had, they're now posted up on YouTube. If you just search up Famous Foxes, we have a Famous Foxes channel on there. It's also in our official links in our Discord. But if you are joining us from YouTube, if you wouldn't mind, to like and subscribe, it certainly helps. Again, kind of increase our awareness within the space. We always appreciate it. We don't post a whole lot of content, so it shouldn't be a lot of spam that you're getting. And we always kind of welcome, feedback and such that folks have posted. And the one item that like I'll throw out there that some folks have asked us for that I would like to do hopefully this week sometime, if not next week. I should have a little bit more availability to kind of be able to help out with it. But to ultimately they were asking for videos that kind of went over our dens feature and kind of all the bits and pieces that like make up dens. And I think that's a good video for us to have and put out there, especially for newcomers. But I want to do that really for like all of our utilities that we have so far. So to kind of almost make like a library of Foxy tools, essentially. I think it'll help people that are brand new. I don't think they're going to be long. By long, I mean like 10 minutes. Like if something's longer than 10 minutes for our tools that we have, I'm explaining it wrong or something's up. But I want to do like each individual one that people can just go check them out, see what they're about. And if someone wants like a refresher on something, or if they're kind of curious how one thing works, they can always just pop back to that video. So I would like to get that started, if not started and completed, sometime within this week, next week, for essentially onboarding new folks. I think that will be kind of a huge help. And we're also in talks with getting our main page of our website updated, just I think to kind of also amplify all of our different utilities with Foxy and Foxy itself, and just a bit more about like us as a project versus like why you should buy a Fox. I think if we just tell you all the things that we have, you're going to want to buy a Fox. Like we don't have to say why you should buy a Fox. So we're gonna most likely update our first page on our website. I'll say in the near future. Some people that we talk to have longer time frames, so it kind of just depends on what we end up landing on and just trying to do for getting it done. But my hope is to have that done in a short period of time as well. Although I know with everything else we have going on, that's not like the highest priority on our list. It's just something that's kind of a nice to have. So having said that, I'll kind of roll into, what our heavy hitter stuff was this week. I think for the most part, everyone in here is familiar with our missions. So our missions did launch last Sunday. We almost postponed it just because of the network. And I know we did get kind of a lot of people that sent us messages about having issues with trying to run their foxes on missions. Again, it's primarily due to Solana's network congestion and all that fun stuff. So it's no different than it is for some of our other tools, or really for anything else trying to buy things on Magic Eden, try to do really anything on Solana. It's just the fact that there's a lot of other people out there that are doing a lot of transactions, and so it kind of gets congested. So having said that, for the mission side of things, we normally just say to try it a few times, maybe refresh the page, try it again. And for the most part, people are able to kind of, get their missions launched out there. I don't think anyone has not been able to do it. correct me if I'm wrong, but also if that's the case, like DM me or FoxyDAO, and like we'll kind of dig into your issue a bit deeper and figure out like what's going on. That way we can get you resolved, because we shouldn't have issues. People putting foxes on missions. So with the missions last week, we launched 6. So we did 2 solo missions. One was a Crown Fox. So if you had a Crown Fox, you could send them out on the Crown Fox mission. Then we also had a Zelda or Mario Fox, so a Gamer Fox. And so if you had one of either of those, which I believe they're called like the green sweater and red sweater, as far as the attributes goes, then you can send them out on missions for the solos. Then we had 2 duo missions. The one was a beard fox or stash fox and a beard den. So that's the one that looks like a little barber shop. And then the second duo mission was 2 foxes with turtlenecks. And the turtlenecks could be any color. So there were a variety of turtlenecks that we have in our collection. Any 2 of those could go on the duo mission. And then we had 2 trio missions, which were kind of more premiums, if you will, because the one was 2 pirates and a pirate den. And the second one was 2 copes and a cope den. So I'll say like a little bit more on like the rare side of things when it comes down to traits, but a little bit more like desirable of a mission to kind of go and complete. So the way that it'll work, for the way we set it up is they expire in 4 days. So if you want to go on that mission, you kind of have that period of time to like go ahead and launch your foxes into it, and then they're staked for a week on that platform. When the week is up, which is going to happen tomorrow, for the most part, it's going to happen tomorrow. Then you're just going to go ahead and you're going to reclaim your foxes from there, and you'll come back with your treasure chests as well as the fame for the specific mission, and then you can either like restake your foxes. I have to double check with Dev to I don't want to misinform folks here, but the way that we're launching the second set of missions, if he's including the first set or like a subset of the first set, I'm not 100% sure how we're doing like the randomness side of things for getting the missions pushed out there. So that's something that we've been talking about on the backside, and I just want to firm that up, and we'll go out as part of that with our announcement tomorrow, but just want to give people a heads up on that.
So I don't want to interrupt you or anything, but I
Sure.
have a question on about the missions. I was wondering if like the chests, like if for a harder mission, like let's say like a crown mission is obviously going to be harder than another random mission, would the crown mission have more rewards, or is it going to be the same throughout every mission?
Yeah,
Like
so
chances.
so right now, I'll say that we're keeping it simple, but our plan is to kind of make it a little bit more elaborate than what it already is. So, as far as the missions go, we tried to make them as far as the ones that you could do a little bit on like the rare side of things with how many foxes, and like the trait side for the ones that you can launch so far. They'll get more common, but like the rewards essentially will kind of all be in the same pool from the treasure chests. And once we have a better grasp on like all the missions we have built out there, then we can kind of tinker a little bit with like the reward system side of things to kind of really, I'll say, they kind of play around like the loot tables. That way like people can get better loot, from like, I'll say, more difficult missions, but like there's also levels involved too. So it's kind of a longer play, and we're just kind of getting like the groundwork really set up that people can get in, play around with it, give us some feedback on it, and then we'll kind of make it, a little bit more intricate as far as like the reward system goes. But yeah, it's it's not like an MMORPG style, something that we have to pour millions of dollars or something into. It's essentially a staking game is really what we're doing. So we'll be refining and honing it as we go along, and definitely am open to feedback. I would actually say, I mean, most likely it'll probably come through our DAO suggestions, but also in our Fox suggestions. If anyone has feedback, feel free to give us some, and we'll certainly kind of take that into consideration as we're kind of building this out, because it will take us some time to get at least the full set of initial missions that we want, and then we have to figure out how we're kind of improving them from the level side of things, and then again, like on the reward side, making that a bit more enticing, especially for foxes that are of the rare sets. But as it stands right now, majority of the rewards are going to be in Foxy. It's going to be more than just staking your fox for a week, and it's going to be randomized as well. So that's the one thing that I will put out as a caveat is I don't know if we've published official numbers, but I want to say it's like 5% of the rewards are like not going to be Foxy. And some people might be like, that's not a lot. Once we have like a full set of missions and we have, let's say like 1,000+ missions a week, you're talking like 50 or so rewards that aren't Foxy. That will kind of have to come through, our whole collection as well. So we want to make sure it's sustainable for the long-term side of things. So at least wanted to throw that out. And as always, too, I should mention, if anyone has any issues, just make sure you let us know via Discord. And I would even say DM us is probably the quickest way that you'll at least get a response back. But if you want to kind of put it in one of the chats, the DAO is probably the strongest area, and then the next strongest would be like in the public section. So that's where that if I were someone that's having an issue, that's the way I would approach it, depending on the severity of your issue. But I figure I put that out there just in case tomorrow when people start collecting their mission side of things and the network's failing and stuff like if there are transactions that fail, I would say be a little patient, double try, to reclaim things, refresh pages. Nothing gets lost. We have full control over the way the contract's built. At the end of the day, if foxes kind of get stuck or anything like that, we can get them back to you. It might just take a little bit of time depending on what happens. But for the testing side of things that we've had, it's been smooth sailing. So I don't think we'll have any issues tomorrow, but it's at least kind of pushing out as a general public awareness so people don't kind of go crazy or anything on us, because I don't. That's the last thing I want due to network issues. Let's see. So as far as our update as well last week, so we pushed out the bulk listing side of things, so you can bulk list any number of NFTs for collection for 200 Foxy, and we'll have a way of delisting multiple NFTs as well. But for right now, you're able to kind of do that. So if anyone is interested, primarily, if I'm trying to think of like the main utility side of things for it, but if you're trying to dump like a decent set of a collection, you can go ahead and do that. And again, if you don't want to dump the whole thing, you can just kind of move NFTs around or however you want to go about it. But it's up to you as far as how you want to do your bulk listings. Um, our token market also, for those of you that are selling tokens, I know it's been difficult to maybe keep track in the sales history, like where your sales were actually done, because it doesn't show you as the seller. It just shows the transaction, the buyer. But we added in a wallet icon, which some people thought was like a black flag because it's like a real rudimentary icon. But that's just to show your sales. So if you're looking through that sales history, um, the specific coin that you sold will have a black flag / wallet next to it. So just as a heads up. And then as far as our den collabs go, we have our Bitmon den. So I know we've created, let's see, I think from Bustos' side, the Monkettes, and more recently we pushed out the Bitmon den for them. And it's just kind of fun to kind of give a little bit of something to other projects, especially other projects that are kind of building in the space. We're certainly really appreciative of all the help and such that kind of goes around from like the collaboration side of things. For a lot of projects, I mean, it goes without say, that it's important for us to kind of maintain decent relationships within the space, just because we all kind of have a very similar vision and mindset, and we're all wanting to kind of be in the space and build in the space. So the den side for us kind of helps produce a little bit of exposure on their side. It also produces a little bit of transparency too, because the one fun thing is the dens that we produce and send out for projects, we ask for their DAO treasuries. So if you ever wanted to kind of poke in and see what NFTs they have, like the funding side of things, the wallet address comes up with that den, so you can just pop into a den and kind of track that kind of stuff. So it really is up to people however you want to go about like that information, but that to me has been like very helpful just to kind of be able to go around and have a little bit more transparency behind some projects. Because some people might kind of get confused with the way that transactions work for like soul scan. So if you're looking at something that gets sold, technically you can kind of do a little bit of digging to find treasury wallets for projects based off of royalties and such if you wanted to, if you're like trying to dig in and look at, you know, some more specifics behind the projects. But this is just one small little feature, if you will, or benefit to us giving dens out to other projects. And then the other thing which was kind of fun was we were in talks for a while with Mortuary about their Ash token, because I believe we're probably the only, if not one of the larger, like I'll say, spots where people have been trading Mortuary Ash via our token market. And so we decided to kind of, actually, they asked us, they were like, hey, is there a way where we can have like a dedicated page to just our token? And I mean, based off of that, right, of a lot of other products came to us, said, hey, we want a dedicated page as well, regardless if it costs money for us or not to kind of do that for them as like a service. We basically just made a way so that way you can just put in I mean, we made a short URL for this, but you could put in the token address from our token market after token market slash, and it will filter just based off of that token address. So what you'll probably notice for new verifications that we post out via Twitter, I've been adding in the long address for the tokens into a link that comes up, so that way if people are interested in purchasing, they can just click on that, and then it will filter out based off of that token address. So one little quality of life feature, if you will, but it's also been helpful for us to be able to do this kind of partnership with Mortuary. So then that way, from their community side, they can just click on it, it'll filter through Ash from lowest to highest, and they can go ahead and purchase Ash from there directly. So it just makes life a bit easier for them, and really for any other project that's have a whitelist token, utility token that wants to get verified on our token market. Let's see. Our 1-for-1 auction. So this week we technically did 2 1-for-1 auctions that are still live. So for this one, more so was brought about based off of, you know, the market as a whole right now, and kind of just the memes that tend to pop up once the markets are, you know, more in the red, around, you know, like fast food, you know, going back to McDonald's or something like that for work. So uh, Heliumon and I created a fast food fox that's kind of set in like a Five Guys esque location, if you will. For those of you that are familiar with Five Guys, it's like a little burger joint in the States that I'm not quite sure how many locations they have, but it's fairly well known. And having said that, they made the Fox initially, and we were like, yeah, this looks great for us to kind of run as a 1-for-1 auction, especially based off the time, right? Like, I think that's part of what makes that 1-for-1 like so perfect right now, is that it's based off of, you know, this point in time. When, you know, in the future, who knows what's really going to happen, right? All these assets are speculative, but let's just say things go absolutely through the roof. You know what I mean? Like, the person that buys these foxes now is kind of capturing like the current sentiment off of the current moment. And who knows, maybe it goes down the tubes. You never really know what's going to happen in the future. Either way, it's kind of capturing a point in time that I think is pretty cool. And so they also asked if they could do a burger fox as well. And so they sent over the artwork for it. And we just thought it was too good to not include. So there's 2 auctions right now for 1-for-1s. One's a burger, one is the fox, but they are 2 separate auctions. And I should have looked up the numbers. I can click through it. Maybe I'll check it out in a little bit. Last I had looked, they were both well over 100,000 Foxy. And I believe they should end tomorrow. Yeah. They'll end tomorrow. Brings Harambe back up. Oh, no, never mind. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know why it showed you as requesting again. I thought by chance you fell down. Sorry about that. As far as our next missions goes, our next set of missions, so our solo missions are going to be our Halo and our FASA. So our FASA is our astronaut, for those of you that were wondering. And then as far as our duos, we're going to have the Monster Trainer and Den, as well as the Fang and Vampire Den. So Fang is just the fox that has the mouth with the two fang teeth. And then our triplets are going to be, I'm sorry, we have a third duo, a safari hat / camo plus den. So that's going to be the safari hat. It's not, we have like a fedora style hat too, but there's like a safari style hat. And then the camo, I believe we're counting both the camo jacket as well as the camo hat. So this one kind of has two different hat traits / one actual outfit trait that you could have, and then the Safari Den, which is the one where the unique ones have the little fox on them. So it's just like a little, like a cabin looking style house, which is kind of fun. And then our triplet is headbands. So any style headband, as long as it's called a headband, I believe. I think there is. I think there are a couple that aren't called headbands that I have to ask Dev if he's counting them or not. I'm sure people are going to have questions about that tomorrow when it pops up, and people are trying to stake specific foxes. But I'll make sure that we send out like a clarification on that once those missions get launched. We also put out our raffle, so we've been doing monthly raffles that are for Foxy. So the way that it works is that we have 2,000 tickets that are priced at 2,000 Foxy each. And as far as the rewards go, this month we have one famous fox, two transdimensional foxes, two dens. We got a mortuary plot and minion. I threw in a turned up tiki, a rare turned up tiki. Then we have two Omens of Olympus, two NFT GFX posters, 10 rare rooms, 5 epic rooms, 2 unique rooms, and then 20k Foxy. We have 25 of those. So quite a solid bit of prizes to be won in that Foxy raffle.
I thought I looked and went ahead and looked at where they're at right now, and the fast food fox is at 150k, and I believe the Foxy Burger is at 120k.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so 150 and 120 on them. So pretty substantial, and I can imagine that they're going to go for more once the auction ends.
Yeah.
How much time is left on them about, Harambe?
15 hours. You got.
15
I know.
hours.
You just gotta wait till Alkine and Dark like hop in that with their 800k each.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yes, you got 15 hours till those ends, and yeah, I'm real curious to see what they close in for, because Heel Melon did a fantastic job on them. So really looking forward to that. Then we also are going to be doing our treasury funded auction as well, which is going to be for Foxy. And so for that, we have 6 NFTs as well. We've got 2 famous foxes, 2 transdimensional foxes, and then we've added 1 D-God and 1 pesky penguin to the mix. So these are just, auctions that we put up that are for the actual NFTs that you use your Foxy for. So if anyone is interested in bidding on those will be coming up. I'm sorry, that started on Friday and it runs till Monday at 1600. So for anyone that has some Foxy that's interested in acquiring some NFTs, you are welcome to do that as well.
I'm amazed how low the D God's at. It's only at 42,000.
Well,
Foxy, that's like a value right now. I think the floor for D Gods are like 35 soul.
yeah, they should be around 35, I believe. Last I had looked.
I mean, the
Like,
pesky, which is like at 7 soul, is about the same. It's
wow.
at 30k.
Yeah, I'm sure those will get popped because they have till Monday at 1600, so that they should have what, like 30 something hours, 39 ish.
Yeah, 24 plus 14, so
Yeah,
38.
38. Perfect. Yeah, thanks for that. You know, I have my stuff here, but I should make sure next time to bring it when we have auctions. That way I can talk some numbers. But it's always good to have a second person in here chilling with me.
I saw you guys snipe the fox. I was like scrolling through the sales, and I saw this bearded fox like with the hat that you guys are raffling. It's like
Hmm.
you guys like picked it up like right before the raffle for 16 soul. It's like an absolute value.
Yeah, that was the thing. So me and Dev, when we do these auctions, we actually kind of go back and forth to try and figure out like, you know, what does seem like it's of value right now. We don't just, I mean, it's not just like a floor. I believe we pick up like one floor and one that's value, or one that's a round floor, I'll say, and one that's value. But yeah, there were a couple of sales that I saw recently that were like solid deals, and um Dev sent me over a couple, and we kind of pulled the trigger on that one. But I looked at it too from like a mission side of things. Like that'll kind of be a desirable missions fox as well. Cause like that's the fun part that like a lot of people I think might not be looking at too much. But like the individual fox is the one that earns fame. So the more missions that fox can go on, the more fame they'll earn, the higher the level they'll end up getting. And that level sticks with the fox. So like if you were to sell it from one person to another, that fox will have that higher level or whatever the level is that the fox has. And so a fox that has like three really unique traits to it can definitely go out to different missions to be able to kind of get additional fame, whereas others might just kind of be waiting until they're able to get launched onto a mission for earning more fame.
Well, I did not know that. I didn't know that. I thought the fox was. I thought the fame was connected to the wallet, but so it's connected to the fox.
Yeah, it's connected
So
to the
from now,
fox.
so from now on, when we buy a fox, we need to be looking for foxes that already have high fame. Is there going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
that's a strategy. You definitely can look for foxes that have a high fame on it for sure.
so? Are you guys going to implement like a fame tracker that we can look
We
up?
do, we are. I believe that's going to be going out in our announcement tomorrow. I don't think we've posted. No, we haven't posted anything about it yet.
That's
But there,
amazing.
yeah, there'll be a way for you to track it from Fame. There'll be a leaderboard to it. You can search by Fox. Um, it'll make it a little bit more fun at the same time, um, as like kind of this kind of progresses, and kind of we get more missions in there, and foxes are able to go on like different missions and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, that's something to definitely keep track of. All right, so let's see. Posted up all those pictures. Um, Dev was being a nut, which is fun. You know, I guess the one other thing worth mentioning, because I think that's really all I had. Oh, actually, I'll mention that too. Um, so the one other thing that meant to with Harambe in here for folks that aren't part of our Discord or might not be on our Alpha channel, I've been fairly strict on like the whitelist opportunities that I tend to like kind of push out to the community. Like Harambe, you know, can second that. You know, that I tend to go, I'll say like overboard, because you know, for me, I'm part of other communities that tend to kind of push a ton of mint upcomings and whitelist opportunities and such out, and like it kind of seems to drown the alpha to an extent, but it's also something you kind of opt into. So it's something that I just keep track of just to kind of see like what other projects are really doing. And there's just been a lot of, I'll say, interest within our community of having kind of additional whitelist, you know, spotlights really for projects that are up and coming for, you know, foxes that may or may not be interested. Because I think people of all types are interested in all kinds of, you know, whitelist opportunities that come up. So with that, Harambe actually had messaged me
Yeah,
because I think you had messaged me first about like trying to do this, and
yeah.
I wanted, yeah, go ahead.
So I was just saying, like I think like 2 weeks before you announce, or maybe a week before you announce, like searching for someone to do the whitelist things. I have found this project that I just thought would be great, so I sent it to you, and then coincidentally, and I think you pushed that one through, and we got whitelist for that, and then coincidentally, um, you were looking for someone to do that because I was also in pesky penguins, and I was trying to have them do some whitelist things, and I kind of like want to model what Pesky was doing because they were pumping out tons of whitelists, but I'm still playing around with that because I want to bring as many whitelist opportunities as possible, but I want to make sure I'm not like dumping garbage, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, I think the new voting like system that we added is like really good because like the last one I posted, there was too many like reds compared to greens, so I just deleted it. And I'm still gonna play around with that, and I may get stricter on what to allow, but I really want to try and produce as many as I can. Like my goal is to drop 2 to 5 every day, and hopefully with Alkine helping me out, we can really start pumping out like 5 a day good whitelists, so people can you know, either mint projects, sell the tokens, and just I feel like that's something that could really boost our DAO and take like the famous foxes like over the edge of just being like a great like, oh, it's already a great project, but I just
I
think
was
it
gonna
would
say
be.
muted.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just really excited for what me and Alpine have planned, and I think we're gonna do a great job.
Yeah, I think so too. And you're already doing a good job. I mean, at the end of the day, like that's the thing about it. Like, you know, I know some Fox have asked for a whitelist for this project, for that project. And like I try to do my best when I can for like making that happen. But I also like we've done a lot of work to kind of build up the community to where we're at too. So like it's also on the flip side of like the coin, making sure that we are not just like trying to be abused by other projects for just you know essentially using us as like a marketing play for their project. That's the fine balance that we kind of juggle with our project. I much rather say no to getting whitelists and it rocking like crazy than I would to say yes to so many projects and have like a good portion of them rug, and then that kind of really affect our community negatively. I know
Yeah.
some people might see that differently, and again, it's challenging. The only thing that I would say, is to try and look at it from our eyes as project founders, of a project that is now existed for coming up on 5 months. Out in the space, there's a lot of projects within that same time frame that are quite dead, and not just derivative projects or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it's challenging, and we just have to make sure that we kind of keep that certain standard for our particular project, because that's what I would do. So that's what I'd like.
Speaking more on that, like I know Alpine could really use suggestions on what people want. Like I know we're pretty new to this, but there really hasn't been suggestions. Like if people could DM me and say like, oh, I think this project's cool, and then me and Alpine could go reach out to the team and try and get us whitelist spots, and I think that would be incredibly useful. And I also think that we could severely benefit from like having people give us feedback on like wanting more whitelists or wanting less, like higher quality. Like obviously they want the most high quality possible, but if you see us like posting too many projects and you guys don't think the whitelists are good enough, let us know. Or if we're not posting enough, like we're really just trying to figure out like a balance right now, and we're still in the early stages, so any feedback would really help. And I could not like urge this enough, like please DM us and tell us what project you want, because I like most of the day I spent today was just looking at projects to reach out to. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
tough. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
and
like there's some suggestions already made which I'm following up on, but please keep making more suggestions.
yeah, I keep sending folks too that reach out to me that want to give out whitelist spots. I'll send them over your way as well. I won't vet them. I'll just kind of push them over to you, just as like a heads up. So that way, if someone comes to you saying, "Oh, General sent them," just make sure you still kind of vet them as well. Um, but yeah, I'll double down on what you said, and I'll kind of say feedback on anything, like give it to us. Like we go through, we have a DAO suggestions, we have a Fox suggestions channel. We look through it, we implement things as we see them, as they kind of come up, unless they're like a bigger ticket item, and then we'll kind of get together as a group, figure out what a good strategy is, and then maybe put it to a DAO vote or something along those lines. But never stop giving us feedback. Even if you think that your voice isn't heard, it's definitely heard. If you don't think it's heard enough, give a second suggestion. I'm a big proponent of feedback, and appreciate it, and I prefer constructive feedback more so than keep doing what you're doing or great job. That kind of feedback, I appreciate it. It doesn't help us kind of get better. So I'm always interested in constructive feedback as well for anything related to our project or what we're doing. So never feel like you're attacking me. I'm always down for a good conversation. At the end of the day, we'll we'll step away from Discord, probably have a good drink or something, regardless of how the conversation goes down, and we'll kind of just wake up the next day and get right back at it. So I'm always down for some good feedback. And then, having said that, I think the very last thing worth mentioning is Soul Snipers had approached us. I want to say they approached us pretty early. I want to say they approached me like 2 weeks ago, give or take, on wanting to do a little bit more like data analytics for our token market. And so we gave them the green light on it to kind of go ahead and do their crazy thing. And so Dev posted out today, ironically at 4:20 a.m., that they now have a tool up and running where you can go in and check out different tokens and just to kind of see performance over time. So for anyone that's a Fox, again, you have a 0% fee on our token market. So if you're interested in doing, I'll say, arbitrage, but really trading of tokens, go nuts. And best of luck. Do your own research, not financial advice. Everything is speculative as it's going to be, but you at least have a little bit more data or tools, in your belt for going ahead and trying out those ventures.
As we're like going past the whole whitelist thing, I just wanted to mention to benefit those who are like in the space is that at 11 p.m. Eastern, I think that's 3 a.m. UTC, I'm going to be dropping a whitelist for Yukon Nico. I don't even know like how to say it properly, but there's only going to be 10 spots, and I think it's a really good project. I know I'm going to try and mint it, so I just would going to give you that tip that at 11 p.m. Something good's getting dropped, and it's only 10 spots because I tried to get more, but they were only going to offer 10. So just go get those spots.
Is that a? I'm sorry, I might have missed it. Is that a first come first serve, or is that gonna be a raffle? I mean, 10 spots. You're probably better off doing a raffle for it. Yeah.
I could do a raffle. I was thinking of doing first come first serve because that's what they requested. But I could always reach out to them and ask to do a
Okay.
raffle.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to do the first come first serve, that's fine. It just gets tricky because based off of when you post it in time zones and things, I would just if it seems like it's a project that's like probably pretty desirable and we only get a small allocation, I'd probably try to do it more on the raffle side just to give a little bit more of a fair chance for everyone.
Yeah, I've been trying to. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, that's okay.
I've been trying to do some raffles, but I've had a lot of pushback for that. Like we're even to the point where they would like take back the whitelist because they just said it was too much work to try and track down people and give them the roles and stuff. So they really, at least what I've experienced so far, is they really want first come first serve. And for this whitelist that I'm dropping, like they were like super strict on everything. They wanted it at a certain time, a certain everything. Like so, I really couldn't negotiate too much. So I was
Yeah, that's
just
very
gonna take
interesting.
what I could get.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem, and that's surprising to me. That the whitelist meta is changing a little bit from the tracking down side of things. I mean, I figured that'd be, you know, the worst problem for them is tracking down people that actually want to mint the project. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
well, I don't know. They've just, I think a lot of it has been that the projects I've been reaching out to are like minting in a couple days. So I just think that they're just under so much stress and stuff that
yeah, that checks out.
they really just like this project that I'm dropping like today only has like 50 spots left, and it's like a 1,500 supply mint, and it looks pretty good. So I was trying to get 30 spots, and I kept trying to like they were offering 5. I got it to 10. So take what I can get.
No, of course, no, I appreciate it, and I know the Fox appreciate it too. But yeah, no, that sounds pretty good.
So Alkine's getting back from vacation, and me and him are gonna talk things over and really figure out what we're gonna do, and really try and pursue the great mints. So, like every mint, we are just not missing any. That's the plan, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I think it sounds like a good plan, and I'm definitely interested to kind of see how that grows. So I'm curious to kind of see the feedback as well, just because it is, I'll say it's not that radically different. There is, it's worth mentioning. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but we added a role in the join any team section. So we have a Mint Fox role that Harambe and Alkine they'll ping for those opportunities. So you'll also see the channel turn white if something comes in there, unless you disable notifications and then hide channels. So that's something too. If people are wanting to track that,
Yeah.
you could just get that role, or if you don't want to get that role, that's perfectly fine as well. That way you don't get pinged by at everyone's and all that kind of stuff. Because I know a lot of projects, Harambe, you'll get people that will say like, "Oh, you have to at everyone" or whatever, and you can push back. I'm perfectly okay with you
Oh
saying
yeah,
like,
I've had to decline a lot of the ones that I've been talking to. I've been trying to like engagement farm or like, oh, you have to
yeah,
follow us and retweet, and I was
yeah,
just that's not happening. Like just it just seems at that point like it just like they're using us, and it just at that point I just don't think it's like projects that are gonna make us do that. I just don't even think are worth our time.
yeah.
And going back to what I was saying, I'm gonna try not to ping at Fox again. I know yesterday I had a little mess up where I pinged at Fox. That was bad, but luckily Dev and I deleted that in like 2 seconds, so
How
hopefully it
how
wasn't
did you
too bad.
how did you even get at Fox? Because whenever I type in at Fox, I have literally like 1,000 things that pop up for it.
Because what was happening is I had the pre-planned copy like paste thing, and I put for some reason like since I was so new to it, I thought it was Foxy Mint, so I wrote like Foxy Mint just because we were having so many issues. So I was just like I just quickly wrote like what I thought it was, and it wasn't that. So it at Foxy, they cut out the Y and said at Fox.
That's
So
so funny.
that's how it happened. But it was like Deb realized my mistake in like 2 seconds. He was like screaming at me and got it taken care of real fast.
Yeah, that checks out. I'm surprised he didn't like mute you.
Oh, I got muted before.
uh,
I one time I said that forgot. Oh, I said that Pokemon Go was the best Pokemon, and I got muted for that.
nice, nice. Yeah, I would. If I were there, I would have muted you for that too. It's definitely got to be like OG, like red or blue. I don't think you could say any other one has been better than that. That's my personal opinion, but people can try me on that. No, that sounds good. I think that covers for the most part what I was planning on going through from a general side of things. So I'll open it up to questions. Let me see. I think there might be a question in Discord. Okay, perfect. Nope. Yeah, you know what, Scooby? I haven't played Emerald. I mean, I'm a huge fan. Green's actually my favorite color, but I've never. I think I played Crystal. I think might have been my Crystal and Silver and Gold that had come out. I think around the same time. And I know there were like some offshoot games that were like nonsense wise, but and then Pokemon Go for like a hot minute until I just like hacked it and would just like walk around like somewhere far away, but I wasn't actually there. Pokemon Stadium too. Uh, yeah, y'all are hilarious. But that's what I love our community. Our community is a bunch of savages. Like they'll definitely come at you if you, if you say something or do something wrong, and I'm here for it. So good. But yeah, I mean, I think this all looks good here. I'm not really seeing any other questions. The one thing that did pop up earlier worth mentioning, because some folks might not know it, on our token market, we don't actually transact anything in Foxy unless someone lists a token for Foxy. So we did add that functionality, which I believe I mentioned at our last VC. But just so people know, you don't have to use Foxy at all in our token market, which I think is why we've had a bit more of like a mass adoption for it. So if you have a famous Fox transdimensional Fox that's staked, you have a 0% fee on the token market. If you don't, it's just a nominal 2% fee. And that just kind of helps us from like the dev side of things for building things out and debugging and the anti botting and all that kind of stuff that we have running on there. So That's worth mentioning because someone reached out to me and they were asking about like trying to run a promotion for like not charging Foxy for it. We don't charge Foxy on our token marketplace. Brink into your goddamn comments on the Pokemon side of things. I know I have my couple little quips, and Brink is definitely the first to catch on when I say them, and he'll just like send them to me via DMs, like sweet nothings, which is funny.
Brink's
But
pretty famous. I spoke to when I was trying to get some whitelists for the Foxes in this Eagles project. They all knew Brink, so maybe Brink can tell us about that in the chat. But I was like trying to figure out who to contact, and they were all like, "Brink this, Brink that." I guess Brink really gets around.
Brink does get around for as much as he probably will admit that he doesn't. He definitely does, and
Yeah, like
also
they knew him.
he's infamous for the Bronx DAO as well. So, there's a lot more to Brink than just Brink.
It's good to know.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'll still see if anyone has any other questions. I mean, we've been going for just under 50 minutes, and I'm not against ending early as well to get people started back up on their weekend. But if anyone does have any questions, comments, feel free to request. If not, I'll ask Harambe if you have any final closing thoughts for folks. I'll give my general security endings, and I'll give you guys hopefully a few minutes back to your Saturday evening.
So yeah, my only final thoughts would be just to give us feedback on really well for my side of things. I just need feedback on the whitelist and those opportunities, like how we're doing, what you think of projects we've posted, and like good or bad. Like if you think that we offered like a terrible whitelist, then let us know that, and I'll be stricter next time. Like I posted this one today, which I took back because the feedback wasn't that great, and I just didn't think it would sell out, even though I thought the roadmap and the team was pretty good. But yeah, just really like give us feedback, me and Alkine, and let us know what you want us to go after, because I'm always searching for a project to try and get us whitelist for. And I don't know everything, and a lot of you guys like are talking in the alpha chat. I've been using some of that. Like you mentioned some in the alpha chat. I've been let me go see if I can get whitelist for that. But yeah, please DM me and Alkine and let us know what you want. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, General. So I'll pass it back to you.
No, that sounds great, Harambe, and yeah, I'll always echo that. I think from when I was doing kind of more like the raffle sides, not that I'm not going to do any of them anymore, but like, for the most part, I'm trying to pass that over to you and Alkine for them. I was, primarily looking at like what the community was asking for. I think one of the more recent ones that I did was the noodles something that they actually reached out to me like before it fell in my DMs, and then I think it was Max or someone was like messaging me like, "Hey, can we get whitelist for noodles?" And they sent a screenshot where it was like where the founder was like, "Yeah, I tried to DM Drax slash the general. I don't remember which one he used, but he was like he never got back to me." And so I had to like dig back through my DMs, and I have to go back through and like remove like group chats. So the one thing I've noticed with Discord is that it like saves group chats more than it does like individual chats. So if you were to look in that whole like list of your DMs, if you're part of a bunch of groups, those ones will stay, and then all the individual ones will like start to fade out, and you have to like search for their names. So I'm gonna start like leaving groups in order to kind of free up some of my DM space because I've been like way too many groups. And also our Discord's being real real dumb right now with this General Junior Harambe, Lieutenant General Harambe. Like y'all are nuts. It's hilarious and I love it, but y'all are stupid. And there was a question that came through as you were talking, Harambe, about asking why someone is so awesome. I don't know if it's me or Brink. I'm gonna assume they mean Brink, and so I'll leave that to Brink for him to explain why he's so awesome.
Yeah, and Brink, how do we get into the Bronx DAO? I'm interested in that.
Yeah, that's a good question that I don't know if Brink does want to talk about at all. But like I think they only initially had like 10 minutes for it to like people on the outside can't get in. I was lucky enough to convince Bert to hook me up with a Bert DAO.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got a Chimp Woman's, which is a pretty fantastic one. For those of you that haven't seen it, you can find it in my den, or I can always post it out. It's one of his best pieces that I've seen so far.
So are they like listed in Magic Eden? You have to like buy an NFT to get into the DAO, or?
I don't think so. Brink can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe you probably can buy them on SoulSea or something. And I know some of us have listed Bronc tokens on the token market. I put mine at a stupid price just because I'm stupid. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Brink's plan is for expanding on the Bronc DAO. Exclusive and mysterious is the terms that he's using. And I guess as for why I'm so awesome, I don't know why I'm so awesome. That's a difficult question for people to ask. Like, people just perceive whatever they perceive. There's probably a lot of people that think I'm an asshole out there. So if you think I'm awesome, like, that's cool. I appreciate it. But I wouldn't know what makes someone more awesome than another. I mean, outside of just like the way that they generally, kind of do things. I don't half-ass things. I'm a grinder, and and I'm here for you guys. I could talk video games left, right, and center. I haven't played one in like forever. Hopefully one day, but maybe Bitmon. I see Bustos in here. I'll throw him a little love from the Bitmon side of things. I saw he posted some video of the dev work that they're doing on that side. That might be the first game that I start playing sometime soon. But yeah, having said that, I'll go out with my final thoughts. On the security side of things, there's been, at least recently, with the open seas, I think it was more so a phishing attempt. I know there was a Magic Eden issue as well, which I also believe was something related to like a phishing attack. Just be vigilant. I think in general for emails, for websites you go to, for people you talk to, DMs you get, just be careful. You're better off not clicking on a thing. FOMO's a bitch. Like, don't let it catch you off of something if you're looking for the next 100x mint or whatever. I mean, odds are it's not going to happen like straight from the actual mint price. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Just be safe out there. If you're minting something or if you're connecting to a new website, create a burner wallet. It takes like 30 seconds to do. It's silly not to. If you're applying for whitelists and such, use a burner wallet for it. Again, it doesn't make sense to use like your main wallet or anything like that for these kinds of opportunities. And I also always will advocate for getting a hardware wallet just to make it an extra level of security for your, I'll say, like, more valuable assets that you have. But it's always good practice to use it for, like, not everything, but your non-trading assets. I think right now, based off of Sol's price, it's like 1.4 Sol or something like that. So if you have any amount of money, it's worth the 1.4 Sol. It'll probably take a few weeks for you to get. um, and and so I always recommend a hardware wallet. um, and don't click links in DMs. If you're connecting to a random site, don't use your main wallets or anything like that. Just send NFTs to burner wallets if you're staking them. I create wallets for every different kind of thing I'm staking and just label it whatever that account is for that stake. Uh, Figure out a good way of saving your seed phrase or whatnot. I don't recommend putting it online anywhere in Google via picture or anything like mindset gap between it. I'll say like my generation and like previous generation from us is because they're more reliant on like the systems to kind of take care of everything because it has all of your information in it. But in blockchain and decentralized systems, you're really responsible for your own stuff. So outside of that, if you have questions, issues, whatever, if you're looking for a community to vibe with, if you have a question about someone that you think's scamming you, jump into our Discord. We have public areas that are quite active. ask around, ask questions, DM me, hit me up on Twitter, whatever you want. Like I'm around. I'm not gonna respond to people unless you just like constantly try to show me something that seems like absolute nonsense, and we'll kind of go from there. So I'll give you guys back. I was hoping to give you back more time, but you'll get back about 5 minutes tonight. And I really appreciate everyone coming up and hanging out with us today, and look forward to seeing you guys on our next set of missions and seeing you guys in the Discord. So have a good rest of your night.